at home or them making themselves at home in our houses. But do we do this with the other Christians in our life? Do we actually work at it? Or are we so busy with our life and with our children and with our hobbies or servicing our debt because we own a car or a home we can't afford or everything else, that we have crowded out the ability to have refrigerator rights with other Christians? I mean, this is what plagues us. Busyness. We're too busy to even have refrigerator rights with friends. And you can say, oh, everyone in the church, I think a lot of people here, they have permission to take whatever they want out of my fridge. And it's not really about permission, it's about actually doing it, right? That's the difference between your ideals and your values. Values are what you do. Ideals are what you think you do, right? So I want you to think about that. How many people, other Christians, are in my refrigerator and I'm in theirs because we spend actual time together? You know, and you make room for it, because when you make room for this kind of relationship, God multiplies your time in the other areas that are taking up too much time. Now, number 5, community will keep you from being self-focused. Philippians 2:3 says, do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better than yourself. When you think about this verse, when I spend time with others instead of just myself, I start realizing, wow, what am I complaining about? I don't have that problem. I don't have that challenge. I'm so much better off. You know, if you ever want to do something fun, sit around with some of your friends one night and write a big problem that you've got in your life, and write it on a piece of paper. Don't write your name on it. Put it in the middle of the table, and then take another problem from someone else and read it, and you'll say, "Can I have my problem back?" You will. You'll say, "At least my problem is my problem." And you probably had something to do with creating your problem. But you know, if everybody shares their problems at the table, everyone will take back their own problem. Oh no, your problem's horrible. My problem's bad, but your problem's worse. I never want your problem. Oh, and your problem? Woo! Don't get me started. I don't know how you got that problem, but I don't want it. When you're in biblical community with people, you suddenly realize that it's not about you. You know, I was very self-centered growing up because my dad used to call me son. And then I thought everything revolved around me. And it's not the case, right? So, see, if you're sharp, you'll keep up with the jokes and laugh a little bit with me, all right? So, but I'm just amazed. The more time I spend with other people and I care, yeah, help her out with the solar system thing. That's good. The more I think about this, the more I spend the time with other Christians, and I spend time with them praying for them and carrying their burdens and caring more about them than myself, the less self-focused I become, the less I think about that car I really, really need to be happy, you know, because if I could just get that car, I'd be really happy. And we all know that. And it's very shiny. And it's fast. And it's very low to the ground. And if I could just have that, I'd be happy. And we all know that I'd get that car and I'd be happy for, an hour until somebody scratched it, and then I'd be very upset about it. So the car isn't going to make me happy. But the more time I spend in fellowship with other people, the less materialistic I am. Because people are so much more important, but you don't realize that until you start, you know? And so it's really not about me. Number 6, biblical community allows you to band together with others to become a very bright light in a very dark world. Now, how many of you have been camping in the last few years? Does anybody go camping here? Do we have any campers? All right. Been a long time since I went camping, right? Camping is not the most comfortable experience, is it? There's the bugs, there's the great outdoors, there's the mosquitoes, there's the lack of air conditioning, there's no room service, and sometimes the facilities are a little wanting as far as all the sanitary facilities. But one thing I learned as a little boy that I really loved about camping was probably really cruel and inhumane, but I'll tell you anyway. It doesn't have anything to do with frogs, by the way. Little boys and frogs, it's a bad combination. But this is fireflies. My dad gave me a jar And he said, put this in the glove box. I said, why? And he goes, you'll see when we get there. And he knew that this particular campground had a lot of fireflies. And he showed me how to catch them and poke a hole in the top of the jar so they could breathe. And I had those little fireflies. You'd see them light up and then go down, light up and go down. So I'd go catch them all. I keep putting them in there, keep putting them in there, keep putting them in there, it was so chock full of fireflies. And then I put the jar next to my bedroll, and I went to sleep, and nothing happened. And I take it and I shake it up, broken like this, and then it would light up the whole little area there. It just looked like I was watching TV in my tent. There was so much brightness on it. But those little fireflies, the darker it is, the brighter they are, right? But you can be in a fairly bright area if you've got 40 of them in a jar and you shake it up real good. and that was amazing, because what I'm finding is with biblical community, when I spend time with other believers and we share our life with unbelievers, they see a very bright light that they want to get closer to. And everything's drawn to the light in nature. That's what does it. In the middle of the night, turn on a light outside, and all the bugs will light up to it. This is what happens when Christians come together. If you don't feel that your light inside is burning very brightly for God, that's probably because you're not with enough other people to create the kind of light that is transformational for our world. I see a lot of people that don't come to know Jesus because they only know one Christian, and they don't have refrigerator rights in their home. You want to see your world saved for Christ? Do two things. Practice refrigerator rights with other Christians and these non-Christians, and spend time together. Overlap your life with other Christians and unbelievers, and create a little jar of brightness that really shows just the strength and the numbers of the brightness that comes in. Philippians 2:14 says, do everything without complaining or arguing, so that you might become blameless and pure, children of God without fault in a crooked and depraved generation, in which you shine like stars in the universe as you hold out the word of life, in order that I may boast on the day of Christ that I did not run or labor for nothing. Shine like stars in the universe. It's hard to do around here, but if you drive out into the country at night on a good clear night, it's not dark, is it? The stars just light the place up. And with the moon there, I actually put my hand out and cast a shadow at midnight on the ground. And it's because of the number of the stars in the sky and the way that they're reflecting the sun. And that's what we're to do. Reflect the sun. But the closer we are together, the stronger it becomes. Number 7, biblical community provides opportunities for mentoring and accountability. I shared a little bit earlier with the smaller group this afternoon about how mentoring has changed my life. Some of you have been on the planet a little longer than the rest of us. You might think your job is done, but actually your job has just begun. You don't think these young couples in this church need you desperately in their lives? We don't have our moms and dads and aunts and uncles and cousins and nephews and nieces all living around us. We don't live in a village. We live in a huge country, and people are all over the place. Would you say your mom lives up in Canada? It's just that way for everybody. Everybody's family lives somewhere else. If we're not the family for one another, who will be? No one. We've got to be family for one another. And the fact that you have nothing in common with them makes it even more powerful that you spend time with them. Not less powerful, more powerful. That's why you should join a group of young people if you're older. Or if you're young, you should invite somebody that's gray-haired or isn't like you at all or won't understand you at the least bit to join a group or to join or to come to your house. Why? Because it's powerful. They've got stuff to teach you. You've got stuff to learn. if anything, maybe they don't have anything to teach you, but they've got extra time in their hands and they'll pray for you, you know? I used to call my grandmother when she was still alive, and I'd say, hey, Grandma, how you doing? And she goes, oh, you know, it's been a busy morning. And I said, really? Has there been a repairman there? And she goes, no. So